Hey FlossTube, it's Kathleen and this is StitchuationNormal episode 14. Welcome back everyone and welcome to the new viewers. I'm Kathleen, I'm a newer stitcher. I live in Southern Ontario, which is in Canada, and I talk a lot and there are tangents, but there's also a lot of stitch talk. So welcome, I hope you guys had a good 2 weeks. I've been doing, I don't know if you've noticed the pattern, maybe not, I don't know. I'm a pattern noticer. I've been doing every 2 weeks and I think I'm gonna keep it up through Christmas, hopefully, because that's manageable. I've just gotten through my busiest time of work where I was working all day and in the evenings and on the weekends, and I didn't take a day off for like 4 months. So this weekend I didn't work at all, I just stitched. But during the week I did work. I had 2 family sessions. Actually, no, it was only one. Anyways, doesn't matter. Long story, boring. Went to one session, midday, went fine. My husband was home to pick up the kids because he's actually off this week. Bathroom renovation. It's gonna be good when it's done. But anyways, so the first one went well. Husband picked them up. The second session was the next day, and when I was at the session they were like, who picks up your kids? Like, how do you manage that? I'm like, oh, my husband does, not a problem. And it was right at school pickup time, and I was like, oh, I should just text him and remind him, but I was like, I can't, I'm doing this session now. And then on my Fitbit, this is my Fitbit in case you've ever wondered what is that honker on my wrist. I try and get my steps in and I fail regularly, but I'm dedicated, so that's good. Anyways, so my Fitbit goes off, and as I'm like shooting, I look at it, and it's my kid's school calling, and it's 20 minutes after pickup, and I'm like, oh, but I don't pick up because I'm like, you know what, they will call him. I'm in another town right now, there's nothing I can do. Sure enough, he forgot to pick them up. The teachers are really good at my kid's school, and they really look out, and they had a good laugh about that. My husband was renovating the bathroom and just forgot, so it's weird because he didn't forget the day before, and in my head I was like, remind him, but I was like, no, don't need to remind him, but then I should have. Anyways, listen to your instincts, okay? So he's working on the bathroom. We do not have a bath or a shower right now because we only have one bath or shower, and it's the one he's renovating. We have a powder room downstairs, but it makes bathing difficult, so we've had to get creative, and luckily have an awesome brother and sister-in-law who live down the street and let us have baths there, showers. I'm gonna insert a photo of my bath. It was last done in the 80s, and this is a photo I took because it was chipped. The tub was so chipped, and it was beautiful for what it was in the early 80s, but it's time for an update. This is a picture of a chip in the tub, a particular chip that I thought looked like a llama. I know I might be a little bit crazy. Did you guys ever look at your bathroom floors growing up and like try and find patterns in them? Or I don't know. There was this one particular type of flooring that it looked like glitter on the floor, and it was in designs, and like I could see all sorts of. That's my imagination. I've got a wild imagination. We know this. Okay, cross stitch. So I have a new Save the Stitches for this week. I have a fully finished object. I have some whips and a tiny bit of haul, and I have, oh, some plans, some good plans. I think that's it. Who knows? I always say that. Who knows? We don't know with me. It's part of my charm. That's what I'm starting to say when I say things that might be slightly negative about myself. I think it's part of my charm. Take it or leave it. Okay. So I'm just gonna go through a couple comments before I show Save the Stitches. Last week I had finished Mr. Bones in the Garden, which I am going to show you because it is my fully finished object. But there were a couple finishing options that I was given. So Cindy D, no, cancel that. Louise Monette said to paint the hoop. So I said I was gonna finish it in a hoop. She said paint the hoop glow in the dark, like halfway, like a crescent moon. Like only put the glow in the dark paint on half, which I thought was pretty cool, so then it looks like he's in a moon. And Anastasia Nico, she's a Flosstuber, she says to paint the hoop black and add lots of glitter, which I'm always on board with lots of glitter, or a cool fabric. So stay tuned for what I did. I will show it after Save the Stitches. And the last comment is from Cindy D now. Cindy D, now is the time, not before when I tried to say your comment. So last week I did, I'm gonna show a picture of it. My Save the Stitches was these two floral pieces that I had in my bedroom. And I thought they were embroidery, but the material, it wasn't like a regular floss, it was more yarny, yarny. So she says that she thinks it was crewel embroidery. Cruel, not cruel. Maybe you say it the same. Yes. Anyways, I think she's right because it is yarny. Oh, I meant to put on the other lights. It's a little dark in here today. Overcast. We got snow. And we accidentally left the boys' car seats outside and they got snowed on and we brought them in and out. It smells like cat pee because maybe the cats outside peed on them because we have a lot of cats and rabbits. Could have been the rabbits. But my husband thinks that's because it smells bad. I'm like, I think it's just an outdoor smell. It really does smell like pee though. And I was like, our camera on our house would have gone off if an animal jumped up. And why would an animal jump up and pee on both of the car seats on the porch? I don't know. That's our mystery. There's a lot of, this should be the Unsolved Mysteries channel because remember we lost my husband's keys. Those have not turned up. That's been since July. Now we have the mystery of the pee car seats. So I think I can take the fabric off and just wash the car seats. Anyways, we don't care. That's not cross stitch. Cancel that story. Okay, Save the Stitches. Snow. How did we get there? I don't even know how we got there. It snowed. Okay. Here is my Save the, it's really big. This is my huge I gotta back up. There we go. My huge Save the Stitches. I saved this from a thrift store in Niagara. It's my favorite thrift store in Niagara, actually. And I'll bring it a little closer so you can see some of it. I'm trying to let you scan it. Now this beauty was framed very oddly. They were like, whoever did this. Okay, this is something that I hate about Save the Stitches. There's no background story. I want to know the background story. I want to know who did this and what they were thinking when they're like, I gotta frame it, but it has to be on plywood. This is literally like a sheet of plywood or like particle board or something. And they're like, this'll do. Like, I mean, it does do. I mean, I use it. And then this, I don't know. I don't know what they thought, but I don't want to sound like an ingrate. I don't feel like they're dead. The person that did this, I don't feel like they're dead. Usually I do feel like they're dead. I don't feel like this person's dead. Wherever he or she is, if you're watching, please know that I'm grateful that you did still put this on particle board or plywood, whatever it was. I just want to know, like, were you being environmentally friendly and you just had the piece and you were like, let's do it? Or like, that's all you had? I don't care. Like I said, I use it, but I just need to know what happened here. Because I bet this will be very, very expensive to try and frame. It's on a linen. And anyhow, I have this in my haul and I'll just look at the I just love the flowers. Aren't they just beautiful? I look at it and I look at all the different stitches that they did, and I wasn't stitching when I bought this. Of course, this was 4 years ago. So when I would look at this, it made me want to stitch. Same as my piece that I showed last week. It made me want to stitch. And I was like, one day I'm going to. So I love, now that I do, now I really do pay attention to the stitching. And I'm like, oh wow, they've done so many different stitches. And yeah, I have a friend, she saw this in my house and she was like, don't ever get rid of that. If you get rid of it, I want it. So Justine, this is yours one day, maybe. I don't know if I'm getting rid of it. Yeah, so this hangs in my home. That's Save the Stitches for today. Yeah, it's from, oh, on the back it says $8. I paid $8 for it at the Christian Benefit Shop. We call it CBS. We is me and my mom, because we like to go there. Whenever I'm in town, I'll go there. My mom, we had to kind of cut her off from CBS for a bit because she was buying too many drinking glasses and throw pillows. Sorry, Mom, but it's true. So she doesn't anymore, and I think she actually purchased quite a few of them, but it's a great little shop, and And I'm gonna turn the light on now. So this is weird, I never did. Is that better? I don't know if that's better or not, but I turned it on. Okay, so my finished object, here we go. Mr. Bones in the Garden by Dark Crosses, which is a branch of modern folk embroidery. And by the way, okay, before I really show you this, Jacob de Graaf, okay. When he said his name, he has a FlossTube now. When he said his name, it was not like Graaf, it was like de Graaf. But that sounded more French, but he didn't say it French. But he had a really good accent, and I'm so sorry for butchering it. If you're listening, Jacob, I'm gonna tag you, so we'll see if you watch or not. But he is the designer of modern folk embroidery, and he just started a FlossTube. He has a whole bunch of antique samplers that he reproduces or that he has. And then he also has the modern folk embroidery line, which has some really gorgeous, larger Quaker types, or I don't know what the type is. I'm new, I'm sorry. But he does these stitch-alongs, and they're big, they're quite large pieces, and they're beautiful. So I'm probably going to do one of them as a stitch-along. Maybe next year I'll start one, because they're gorgeous. And I had seen them, but then seeing them on his channel, I'll link him below, and I'll link all his info below so that you can check out his FlossTube if you want, because there's really some beautiful, beautiful stuff that he has there. Okay, Mr. Bones in the Garden, my finish. So if you'll remember, I stitched it on black Ada. The bones, Mr. himself, is done in glow-in-the-dark DMC, and then the garden herself is stitched in the A12 floss. And then I wrapped this candy corn ribbon around the hoop and just glued the ends to it. It stuck really well. There's wire in it, so it really did stick well. And there's the back, don't look. Just kidding, I showed it to you because I put a little bit of cotton batting in the back. I'm just scared to cut. I'm scared to cut this. And Jacob even gives really good instructions for finishing it in the hoop when you buy the chart. Because I'm new, maybe that's why I'm indecisive about cutting. I don't want to snip, like, because what if I wanted it a square frame? Like, no, I'm not gonna want it. This is circular. So I'm really happy with this. The only thing I might do is like put maybe a bow here or something, or like some spooky stuff. I don't know. That's the only thing I might do. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. I don't want to put it away for Halloween, like until next year, so I might just hang it in my office until next Halloween, and then I'll put it away next year with all my stuff. So, Mr. Bones in the Garden. Oh yeah, so a viewer, LB I think it is, yep, she left a comment that she's stitching it. I may have told you this before. She's stitching this for her friend, and her friend had part of her tibia removed, I think. Nope, fibula, other leg bone, and so she's stitching it, and she's removed that part of the bone that her friend doesn't have, which I think is hilarious and amazing. So, good night, Mr. Bones, you're done. Okay, on to my whips. We have, okay, well that's not it. This is just the chart. I grabbed the chart by accident. Okay, here's a picture of Sanderson Sisters by Plato, Squirrel. And here is what I got done this week on it. I'm almost done our 3 favorite witches. I'm stitching this on a yellowy Ada with the called for DMC. And honestly, it's Halloween-y, right? So it's kind of killing my Christmas buzz. But I do want to give this to my sister for Christmas, so I still have that wild border to do and like the little spooky bits, and it is fun to stitch, don't get me wrong. I'm starting to feel the season, so as Elton John says, I just want to step into Christmas, and this isn't helping me step. But it will be a good Christmas present, so I just need to remember that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I last, and if Karen, my sister that does not stitch, gets this for Christmas. We'll see. Next we have pumpkins for sale. Again, still kind of fall. This is by Stitches Through the Years. And I was doing a stitch along with my friend Merritt Crawford on this, and she had sent me this fabric, which I believe is a 28 count Murano. And I said I was gonna stitch on this until American Thanksgiving, which is on Thursday, today is Monday, November 23rd, 2020. Just for posterity's sake, we'll say that. And this is what I've got done. I'll bring it closer. Isn't that so pretty? I've been using the fancy floss for some of it. Here's a mistake that I've made, and I've made it 3 times this week. Okay, this is the same color as the fabric. Boop, 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 boop. 3rd time I've done that, because in Sanderson Sisters, it wasn't very noticeable in Sanderson Sisters, but in Sarah's hair, it matches the fabric. Just the highlights match, it's identical color. This happened, and it happened in my 3rd whip. Whip is work in progress. So, but either way, I still just love this. We've got the lovely lady that will be coming in on this side, and I have to put a bird in here, and then there's some stuff up here. It's a lovely piece. It really is. I love it, but you know what? I'm just gonna work on it until Thursday, and then I'm gonna put it away until next year, and it'll be really fun to work on this in the fall, next fall. So that is my progress on that. And last but not least, this is, oh, such a nice surprise. I knew it was gonna be fun to stitch, but it really is, like the way that I parceled it out, so to speak. Home for Christmas by Little Dove Designs. Hope you can see that. Oh, my husband's home from work. Last time he got me all frazzled. We'll see if he gets me frazzled this time. I'm just gonna ignore him. Okay, so Home for Christmas. I did 2 parts this week because I need to have this done for Christmas. Okay, so here we go. I did the snowflakes and I did the holly leaves. Now, this fabric is the same. It's not the same. It's just very, very, very close to this white, and there's a lot of white in it. And it said, don't pick a fabric that's too light because the white won't show up. Well, I did because I'm still new, like I keep saying, and I made all these decisions that I shouldn't be making because I have no business making them yet. But it wasn't a problem everywhere else. It's a problem here. It was a problem for these big snowflakes. So what I did is I had this, it's a metallic floss that I picked up at the thrift store, and I wish I knew what it was called because it was just this bunch of it. And it feels more like a DMC Light Effects than it does acrylic. So I'm guessing that it's something like that, but it's quite thick, I'd say. Let me see. So I only used, maybe I did use 2 strands. Oh shoot, I'm gonna have to find out because I am gonna do more of it. But if you can, as you can see, I'll show a picture of it before I added the metallic floss, and then after. You can really see the shape of the snowflakes. And you can't tell in the video, but it adds like a nice sparkle. So I might go in and add it to the snow here and maybe all these snowflakes, which would be a lot of work. It was a lot of work to do these. However, it changed the look of it, and I wouldn't want it any other way now that I have it in. Even if the fabric was the right fabric, I would want it with this in it because it looks so pretty. So then I did these beautiful holly leaves, ivy, whatever. And it calls for 3 different greens. And so I started with the first green, and it was the wrong green. I started with the wrong green, and so then when I cut my strand for the second color green, it was the exact same as the first one. And I was like, oh, they're so close. Those colors are so close, you can't even tell the difference. And then I was like, I can kind of tell. And I thought just maybe the lights are playing a trick on me. No, when I got to the end and I had to cut a new strand of the first thread, I could see that it was not the same. And like I was looking at them on all of the greens and I couldn't tell the difference, and then I could. So had to frog that, put it back in, but I'm glad I did it right because it does look so pretty. So again, I might do the metallic floss on this snow here. And then we have the last scene, which is like the truck and the house and the tree and the home for Christmas part. So I'm very excited about this. It might take me a little longer, like I said, because I'm gonna have to go to Michael's and see if they have something like this there. Because I think I do want to go over everything in white so that I can see it. And then I want to be able to hang it for Christmas, which I haven't decorated for Christmas yet. I usually do on the 25th of November. Like I do a full month of it, a little bit more than a month because I keep it up a little bit longer, but I like to have just a little bit of order before I do Christmas, like in between fall and Christmas, for whatever reason. Also, this is the first year I do feel okay with it since my dad passed away, but when he passed away, I didn't realize how hard it was for me to decorate for Christmas that year and then the year after, so it's strange. And my sister was texting me about it actually the other day, and we were chatting, and I was like, when I had my first kid, which was 7 years ago, he was born right before Christmas, I had a hard time being the mom and not being the kid anymore, because that sounds weird, like I hadn't been a kid in a while, like this, I had been an adult for a while when I had my first child, and I still couldn't let go of my childhood. I had a really hard time with it because I had a good childhood. I think that's why I would have a hard time letting go. And the magic, I don't want to let go of the magic, and having kids makes it easy to keep the magic, but it was a really hard shift in my life going from daughter to mother, even though I am still the daughter. But then when my dad passed away, I felt that all again, that shift of like the magic's gone. And it's not gone, but it's just different. It's those little things. And I think I'm a feeler, like I feel everything. We know, I tell everything. You know what's going through my brain. I'm a feeler, and so other people, I think, that don't want to feel, they kind of harden themselves and they are a little grumpy. And so if you meet a grump at Christmas, just know there are probably some feelings that they don't want to feel and they are having a hard time, and it's not you. Just don't take it personally. I mean, that's what I tell myself. There are people that are just grump holes, and that's a word. That's a real thing. And you know what? That doesn't matter. As long as you just tell yourself, no, they're having a hard time with something, it's not about me, then I think we're good. But yeah, it's just these shifts. They're hard. I don't know. Some people probably don't think and feel as much as I do about things. I'm very sentimental. And yeah, so I will, next time I film, we will have holiday decor up here, and I'll probably do a tour. We do a real tree every year, so we don't like go to the Christmas tree farm. We're not that fancy where we go cut it down and have hot chocolate and our kids are really well behaved. That is not us. We just go to the grocery store and pick one up. But one year my husband picked the tree, and I was like, oh, that's such a dinky tree, like it's so small. And in the night, like the leaves, like all the branches fell, which it normally does, but when it fell, it was so big it took up half the room. And first of all, it fell over because like it pushed against the wall and knocked itself over because it was like falling. And then we didn't know where to put it because it was so big. We had to like cut half of the back of it off so we could like push it into a corner. And I was like, I'm so sorry, Brad, you were right. That was a great tree. So we've had a different tree every year, and it's fun to decorate it every year. And yes, anyways, I don't know how we got here. We got there, but then we didn't need to go there. But Christmas, yes, holidays, feelings, everything. Okay, so I have a tiny bit of haul. I bought a Needleminder from Stitchtoolbox, and it says Yassssss. Oh, that's better. You can see that better now. Yassssss. Yass. I'll give all the different versions of Yass. Yass Queen. Yass. Anyways, I love it. I had to have it. When I saw it, I was like, I have to have this. It's nice metal Needleminder. Now, Needleminders go on your fabric. I know a lot of you probably know this, but I'm just gonna show you. You take your project, you stick this part of the magnet on the back, and then your needle sticks to this. And like, so you'll stitch and then you'll be like, done, and put it on there. And you can keep your thread attached to it, or you can stick it, if you've come through, you can stick it on the back, and it will help you not lose your needle so much. Because before I had Needleminders, I lost my needle all the time, and it drove me mental. So that was my Needleminder, and then this, I think I might have showed this last week. Like right now I'm starting to remember, but I hadn't printed it off, so I printed it off. Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, they had their sale, and I bought it when it was on sale. It's called Christmas Celebration Sampler, and I had to have it because I just love every single thing they chose for the letters. The carolers, hot chocolate, Rudolph, or reindeer, I don't know. Ice skating, snowman, toys. Oh, what's M? Maybe it's mantle or mother or mistletoe. Maybe they have a lot of things in there. A, oh shoot, I don't even know what A is. Oh, it's angel on top of the tree. And then S for Santa. I love how I'm all confidently saying, yeah, and I looked at every single one and I loved what it was. And here I am stumbling over them. Yeah, it looks like a great chart. So I printed that off. Very excited to stitch it. It has a white border. I'm gonna go with the called for fabric, which is like a real glittery fabric, which you probably can't tell in that picture. Okay, and that's all for haul. And the last thing I'm gonna go over are my plans, I guess. So I'm wrapping up my Halloween stuff, and I want to do a few more Christmas ones. So the next one I'm going to start, maybe I'm going to kit this one up this week. It's also Little Dove Designs, and it's 'Tis the Season. It's the carolers. So I'm probably going to kit this one up and start this week or next. But I also have this one from Durene Jones, the gingerbread houses. This is on her Etsy shop. You can, oh, everything I've mentioned I'm going to link in the description below. So if you want to know where it is, you can go in there and check it out. Gingerbread houses, so cute. The Little Dove. I went hard on Little Dove this year, remember? Merry Christmas. I might save this one for next year. Also Little Dove, Christmas wishes. Like, isn't that so cute? Then I've bought in some old lady stashes from Marketplace, and so there's been some things inside them. This one is like some snowman ornaments. I don't have any ornaments. I have not stitched an ornament, so I think I kind of want to stitch an ornament. So I have this option, these snowmen. They're pretty cute. Pretty cute. And then I also have these Santa ones. Is that the front? Yeah, okay. Like, look at his rainbow toque. I had a rainbow toque like that when I was a kid. It wasn't long like that, but it had a pom-pom like here on the back, and it was rainbow, and it was knitted, and it might still be around at my mom's. I doubt it, though. Look at all these cute Santas. So I'm like, maybe I should stitch myself one of these. I don't know. And then I have the Mill Hill. What the hill? Okay. I throw myself off sometimes. It's like a birdhouse. Isn't that so cute? That could be an ornament I could do for the tree. I have these, which are kind of weird. Like, so they're called snowflake ornaments, which are beautiful, right? It says June Grigg Designs, 1993. Okay. But I want there to be some floss in there. So I might have to just put some floss in. Just for the floss of it. And they come with all the beads and everything. Am I crinkling you guys too much? Oopsie. And then I also have this. Not to mention all my Christmas magazines I have, which are so fun to look at. Okay. And I have a Christmas Save the Stitches next week. It's not one you've seen. Look at this. It's a cardinal, and it comes with everything you need to make it, and it sings. Oh my gosh, it is doing quite the medley. I don't know how to turn it off, but it's going very fast. This is a stressed out cardinal that has a lot to say. I can relate to that. Nope, nope. Oh shoot. Okay, well, whew, we need a pillow for that bird, okay. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. I still have like some Christmas presents to stitch, maybe. I have to whisper because my husband's here. I want to do his, I hope you can hear me. I want to do, oh good, it stopped. I want to do his Goonies one. And then I have like, my son wants like a Mario one, like a Sonic one, my other son. So I'm like, I don't think there's time for all that, but maybe my husband and my sister the whole week. And for my plans, I forgot to mention that in January, I'm going to be participating in a brand new stitch along by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. It is called Made to Create. And I'm really excited about that because I don't know what it's going to be, but I have seen the colors, they look gorgeous, but just the name Made to Create. And it's funny because, you know, I've talked about it, I'm a photographer, but I don't feel like an artist. I'm not creative in a lot of typical ways. But just recently I said to my husband, I'm like, I'm an artist, and it's hard for me to accept that. So I'm excited for Made to Create. I know exactly where I'm going to put it. Again, even though I don't know what it's going to look like, I'm going to put it in my craft room that I don't have yet. But again, these are all future plans. So if you want to see these sneak pictures I have, there is also follow Caterpillar Cross Stitch on Instagram. You can see these sneak pictures too. I'm not that special, but this is the Needleminder, which has all of the colors in it, and I think it's beautiful. And it's a little bobbin, isn't that cute? And then we have the color palette, and here is the scrambled image. So the pre-sale starts on Thursday, which is November 26th, and if you would like 10% off, you can use the coupon code NORMAL10 and join me, because I am really looking forward to it, and they always do a beautiful job. Caterpillar Cross Stitch always does a great job with their sales and with their kits and everything. So I will link the information for that below, and like I said, it's not available for, like, pre-sale doesn't start until Thursday, so set your reminders, as they say. Oh, there's Mew. She heard the call of the bird and she came. So that's everything. Went on a roll. We talked about particle board. Hello, Mew. And we had a regular, I want to say like that was a weird one, but no, that's the way they all are. Okay, cat, get out of here. It's like, seriously, she has to do this. I'm trying to wrap up, guys. Okay, so if you liked my video, this is how they all go, okay? I hope I don't, there's people that are like, I can't watch StitchuationNormal. She stresses me out too much. I get that. I do not blame you, that's fine. Merritt Crawford, she's who I was doing the stitch along with, she says she watches me in the morning to get going in the morning. I'm like, okay, I love that. So anyways, this was episode 14 of StitchuationNormal. If you liked hanging out with me, okay, Mew. If you liked hanging out with me, please feel free to subscribe. And you can follow me on Instagram at StitchuationNormal. Wow, this cat. If you liked me, okay. Instagram, I post little tidbits on there. I post stuff in the stories, and oh, my email address. Okay, Mew. So my email address will be in the description, as well as everything else I've included in this video. And please feel free to email me if you're working on a project, or if you want to share the project you're working on, or send it on Instagram. And there's probably other stuff, but I can't think of it all right now. She's purring. She's happy, this girl. She's happy to be on FlossTube. Okay, this is what I do. This is how I leave. See you, oh, no, that's not how I leave. This is how I leave. Keep stitching your story, and I will see you next time. Bye.